Picture this. You are a 16-year-old boy in Missouri in March 1960. You answer an advertisement that says, "Wanted young, skinny, wiry fellows must be expert riders, willing to risk death daily, orphans preferred." Whether that advertisement ever actually ran in a newspaper is something historians still argue about. Most likely, it is legend. But the job it described was real. 3 months later, you are galloping across Nevada at midnight with a leather pouch of mail strapped to your saddle. 300 Paiute warriors might be over the next ridge. And somewhere east of you, 1,000 men are running cable up wooden poles to make your job obsolete. His name was William Cody. He was 14 years old. The world would later call him Buffalo Bill, but in 1960, he was just one of about 80 boys racing the news across an entire continent. In April of 1860, news from Washington, D.C. took 25 days to reach California. It traveled by stagecoach down through Texas, across the deserts of Arizona, then up the coast. By the time a Sacramento newspaper printed what Congress had decided, Congress had moved on 3 weeks ago. The country was breaking apart. Lincoln was running for president. Southern states were drafting articles of secession. Decisions were being made in the capital that would tear the nation in half. And California, the newest state, the richest state, the gold state, had no way to know about them in time to react. 3 businessmen looked at this problem and saw money. Their names were William Russell, Alexander Majors, and William Waddell. They already ran the largest freight company on the frontier. What they had was a plan no one else would have tried. The plan was this: hire 80 teenage boys, buy 400 fast horses, mostly Mustangs and thoroughbreds, build 190 relay stations, one every 10 to 15 miles, across 1,966 miles of wilderness from St. Joseph, Missouri, to Sacramento, California. Strap a leather mail pouch called a mochila to a light saddle. Pay each boy $100 a month, sometimes $150, the equivalent of about $5,000 in today's money, and have them race the mail across the continent in 10 days. 10 days. 25 down to 10. Russell, Majors, and Waddell put up their entire freight fortune to build it. Stations had to be raised in places that did not have names yet. Horses had to be staged. The boys had to be hired, weighed in fact, under 125 pounds to spare the animals, and trained. I have stood at the original Pony Express stable in St. Joseph, Missouri. The wood is still dark. The smell of horse is still in the timbers. On April 3rd, 1860, a boy galloped out of that stable carrying the first mailbag west. The system worked. From the first ride. If you want more stories about the Americans who built the impossible before modern machines, subscribe to Westbound Archive. There is a new one every week, and the next one is bigger than this. Now, the boys. The average rider was 17 years old. The youngest were 14. They rode 80 miles a shift, sometimes more, changing horses every 10 miles at the relay stations, swapping the mochila in under 2 minutes and galloping on. They rode through summer heat that killed horses and through winter blizzards that killed men. They rode at night with the moon over the Sierra Nevada, and they rode at noon across the salt flats of Utah where the air boiled. In May of 1860, the Paiute War broke out across Nevada. Warriors burned relay stations to the ground. At Williams Station in Nevada, a man whose station became his grave was killed defending it from a raid. The Pony Express did not stop. The boys kept riding through a war. Robert Haslam, called Pony Bob, was 19 years old when he made the longest ride, 380 miles, non-stop, through the heart of the Paiute uprising, through territory where every ridge could hide a war party. He delivered the mail. He rode some of it twice because the rider scheduled to relieve him had been killed. When Lincoln won the presidency in November of 1960, the news of his election reached Sacramento in 7 days and 17 hours, the fastest run in the system's history. A boy on a horse beat every other communication network on Earth. In 18 months of operation across nearly 2,000 miles, with 80 teenagers riding through war and weather and night, exactly one mailbag was ever lost. While the boys rode, another man was racing them. His name was Edward Creighton. He was an engineer. He was building the transcontinental telegraph. His crews stretched copper wire along almost the same route. Wagon by wagon, pole by pole, they pushed west from Missouri and east from California. Every mile of wire they raised was 1 mile less for a horse to ever carry mail again. The boys knew this. They could see the wire going up alongside the trail. On October 24, 1861, the eastbound and westbound telegraph crews met at Salt Lake City and joined the wire. A message from California to Washington, which had once taken 25 days, now took seconds. The Pony Express closed 2 days later, October 26, 1861, after exactly 18 months. The company filed for bankruptcy. Russell, Majors, and Waddell lost about $200,000, the equivalent of $7 million today. They never recovered. The 80 boys scattered, most went into the Civil War. Some died in mining camps. A few were buried in graves that did not even carry their names. Only one became famous. William Cody became Buffalo Bill, and he toured the world telling the story. The other 79 were forgotten. I have ridden parts of the route through Egan Canyon, Nevada, where Pony Bob Haslam rode. Nobody stops to look. The wire is gone. The horses are gone. The boys are gone. Today, a smartphone in your hand carries a message along that same route in less than a second. If this story moved you, subscribe so the next one finds you. The boys are gone. The horses are gone. The wire that killed them is gone too. We are the only ones still telling these stories. Westbound Archive. Every week.